Now, make we add padding to our button. So what will be the padding? If we look this our button, so if you see say we get 25 pixels margin all around them right here, we get this 25 pixels. Now wait to make them stand out. So if we look them well, because you say we need to get space inside them. So the space inside this box now, this red box where we get now be the padding. So I'm just quickly gonna go back into our text editor. So we'll say 1 pixels, and then we'll just press save. So now we can see that this is our button, but anywhere where this red starts, inside this red onto this button here, inside this click, this text, that now the inside of the button. So whenever we put padding, it could be inside them. So when we try to see how we fit add paddings to our code. So if we go back here inside the text editor, we can go here. For inside this our button container, let's add a background color to our button container. So if you see, so we'll say background. Let's say we want to give this a background color of B3B. So we can see, say now we get this background color. So our background will be there. So now we could just say inside this background, inside here where we get all this margin and all that, we want to add a padding. We want to make the padding there inside the button itself. So we can go the button element, which now this BTN, right? So we can the BTN, go down a bit. Then we can say we want to add padding. So what kind of padding we want to add? We want to add padding for the top. So we say padding, and this padding top, we put colon. If you say we want the 10 pixels for the top, so we say 10 pixels, and then we go close out with the semicolon. Make we save them first, make we see as it be. So we'll go enter back inside our browser, and then you can see for the top of this button, inside this button, oh, now we get this padding. So now when we get this div now, we carry this background color, this gray background color. What if we won't give them a own padding? So make we see how if we behave with padding. So make we go back our text editor for here now. Now inside this text editor, make we go back inside this container div for here. Inside this container div for here, the btn container. Now then we can give them a own padding. So just above the margin, make we say, or just above the background, make we say we want to add padding. So we'll say padding colon. Then how much padding do we need? We can say we need 50 pixels padding. So we say 50 px padding. Don't forget to close with semicolon. So we'll close and then we'll press save. So now our button, we're going to see this the padding, the space now for inside now we can increase now. So if we go to our button, you also say the space inside this our div now it don't increase, and the space inside this our what's it called our button it don't increase. So if we come here, say we want top, we go say 10 pixels. So let's say we want 10 pixels for there. Then we'll say padding bottom, right? So we'll say bottom, and then we want 10 pixels again. And then after that 10 pixels at the bottom, we'll close that, then we'll come down again. Remember, say with the attack, we the only affect only the button. So we can say, okay, after this 10 pixels for the button, we can say we want the padding again for the left and for the right. So we'll say for left colon, and then we'll say we want make 20 pixels for the sides, right? And then we'll say we want padding for the right. So we'll say go down to the next line. Then we'll say we want padding dash right, and then colon, and then we'll assign that to 20 pixels. So already, if we save this code now and then look our button can look different now. So make we save and go back our browser for here, and we can see our button now looks bigger and it gets shape now. But the thing is, say what we go like do be say make we write the shorthand version of we fit do padding on the left and right. So we go do padding on the x-axis and on the y-axis. So what do I mean by x and y-axis? Well, I just mean we'll do on the top and bottom axis, and then we'll do on the left and right axis. Going back to our text editor, so we'll close that. So we go say padding, and then we want top. So we want 10 pixels on the top and bottom. If I save this now, you can see our button will get 10 pixels all around them. So if we go back into our code, into our browser, we can see we get only 10 pixels all around our button. But if we go back our code, VS Code, so we will say padding from top and bottom should be 10 pixels, and padding on the side should be 20 px. So now this will say top and bottom should be 10 pixels by saying this padding here should be 10 pixels. It will say left and right should be 20 pixels. That is this padding here. Once we press save and go back into our browser, we will see that we have this 10 pixel space, and if we look at the sides, we have more space here of 20 pixels. So that's how we feed the add padding to our elements on any element in HTML and CSS. For now, that's all we need to learn. I will see you now for the next video. Thank you.